What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel, bringing you guys another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Paladin Cecil's LD weapon and burst weapons debut, what they bring to the table for his kit, and my overall thoughts about the character and the banners that are going to be coming out. But before we talk about that, if you guys are brand new to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. That way you guys are not missing out on future uploads. And if you guys enjoy what you see on this channel, be sure to hit that like button and share this video, as it does help me out. Don't forget to check out all of the fantastic resources out there for Dissidia Opera Omnia. I'll be leaving the links down below in the video description as well as the pinned comments. And thank you to all of the rest of the fantastic content creators and streamers out there for this game. Those of you that create those guides, those spreadsheets, those infographics, just to make the experience for this game that much better. Without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Paladin Cecil's LD weapon and burst weapon. Alright guys, so here we are with my video for Paladin Cecil. We're going to be covering what both his LD weapon and his burst weapon does for his entire kit. We're going to be taking a look at his calls, and then I'm going to be giving you guys my own personal takes, what are the pros and cons of this character, and then we're going to be touching up on the banners. So I am going to be doing this demo on Transcendence 1, which is going to be something that we're going to be seeing soon on Global Opera Omnia. And this is the exact party that I took to Transcendence 1 that I am using for this particular video demo for Paladin Cecil. So if you guys are looking for team comp ideas for this particular upcoming content, well, this is a team that I took for the middle stage of Transcendence 1. Because the middle stage does have two stages, and it does start off with these two Medusas from the Ultimisia event. Okay, so we are now here with Paladin Cecil. So the way that I'm going to go ahead and do this demonstration is actually go into burst, because we still have access to the LD, so then I can talk about the LD in the burst phase, and then when we get to the finished burst, we will go ahead and talk about the finished burst. So Paladin Cecil's LD is when you fully realize, or fully max limit break it, excuse me, and also have the LD boards unlocked, is going to be granting him access to his LD ability called Luminous Shard. Now, Luminous Shard has 4 total uses. This is first going to be increasing his own max brave by 30% and his attack by 120%, and that's a permanent increase. It's going to be delivering a 3-hit Holy Ranged AoE Brave plus AoE HP attack, followed by a 5-hit Holy Ranged AoE Brave plus AoE HP attack. It has a 60% increased Brave damage against a single target. This also has increased Brave damage dealt when you're attacking a target's weakness, and then it also has a 230% Stolen Brave Overflow that deals split HP damage. It's going to be healing the party's HP by 100% of the HP damage dealt up to 70% of max HP, and it's going to be converting any excess HP healed to Brave up to 100% of initial Brave. It's going to be inflicting Holy Imperil on all targets for 4 turns on the first HP attack, and then it's going to be granting Paladin Cecil a special effect called Entrusted Crystal to himself for 12 turns, and it's also going to be granting him a free skill usage to his Skill 1, Skill 2, or C65 on the next turn. So it's pretty loaded, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at it here. So it's going to be 2 HP dumps, and as you noticed right there, the first HP attack inflicts that Holy Imperil, so it allows him to hit weakness on the second HP attack. And as you can see right there, we have the free skill usage. Now, normally, if I am not in the burst phase, I actually like using that to use his C65, so then that way he provides the Holy Enchant to the entire party. But in the burst phase, I generally like using it with his skill 2. So we're going to do this. Alright, and now I want to talk about that Entrusted Crystal effect. You can see that little effect that he has for 12 turns. So what this does is, first of all, it increases the party's defense by 120%, which is huge. And then it also grants the party a 10% HP regen. and it also grants the party a max HP overflow limit by 30%. And then whenever Paladin Cecil's HP is at 100% or greater, he's going to be increasing the party's brave damage dealt by 50%, HP damage dealt by 20%, and he's also going to be reducing the party's HP damage taken by 20%. So not only is he amplifying your party's damage, but he's also amplifying your survivability by reducing the HP damage you take, and also giving you HP regen, and also increasing your defense, and also increasing your max HP overflow limit. So this guy does a ton now. Before, he was like, you know, a jack of all trades, but not really a master of any one particular thing. But now he's pretty much like a jack of all trades, master of them all, because that aura in itself is insane and provides him a huge amount of utility as a party member for numerous party compositions. So you could understand why this character has a lot of hype behind him, and that's just coming from the LD alone. So in the burst, I like to use his skill 2 twice because we get the free one, and then we also get the you know, the general usage, and then I'm going to go right into his skill 1. Okay, and then afterwards, we're going to go ahead and use his EX. And then afterwards, we're going to go into his finish burst. So before I use this, his finish burst is going to be using his finish burst ability called Soul Shift. And this, I believe, comes from the older Dissidia games. It's a 15-hit, wholly ranged AoE Brave plus AoE HP attack with a 60% increased Brave damage dealt against a single target. This deals 100% HP damage to all targets with a 20% maximum Brave damage limit up to 11,998 and an 80% maximum obtainable Brave and HP damage limit up to 179,998. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at it here. And this is one of the coolest animations, in my opinion, for the finish burst. Because, watch, you'll see, he switches between Dark Knight and Paladin, which is really, really cool. And for those of you that have not played Final Fantasy IV, it references that. I recommend you guys check out Final Fantasy IV. It's my favorite game in the series, and I really like how they added that animation to his finish burst. Okay, so now we have the 5-turn party-wide, burst effect. And what this burst effect does is it further increases the brave damage dealt by the party by 50%. So that's added on top of Entrusted Crystal. So now you're dealing 100% increased brave damage with the party. It also gives you 20% increased Brave gain overflow limit, another 10% HP regen. It also heals a party member's Brave by 100% of that party member's current HP at the start of their turn. And then whenever your HP is at least 100% or greater, you're going to be getting that 20% maximum Brave damage limit up to 11,998 and that 10% maximum obtainable Brave and HP damage limit up to 109,998. So as you can see, the LD is loaded and the burst is pretty loaded as well. It's going to further increase your offensive capabilities and just gives Paladin Cecil just so much versatility and so much utility for your entire party, which is why this character has been hyped up for his LD and his burst release. Now, as far as his calls go, his base call, he's going to be using his skill 2 Holy Flame, which will be granting the party an 80% defense up for 6 turns. And then his LD call uses his LD skill Luminous Shard, which inflicts Holy Imperil on all targets for 4 turns, and then it's going to be granting the party a 120% defense increase and a 30% max HP overflow limit of 30%. And then afterwards, the recommended artifact passives, if you're going to be using and building up Paladin Cecil to his full potential, you're definitely going to want attack plus 108 times 3, and then you're going to want 3 copies of Light Grasping or Deal Boost 2-star, because that is a C50, which further increases his attack and max Brave and all that good stuff. And then if you are going to be investing in his Lufenia HG armor, this is the one that gives you the Brave damage dealt by the party exceeding the limit of 9,999 by 5%, up to the 10,498 mark. Now, some pros to this character. So, LD effect is loaded. It grants a very powerful auras from both an offensive and defensive approach, and his LD effect rivals and, in my opinion, surpasses current burst effects, because there are burst effects that are similar to this LD effect, but the LD effect is actually better than some of them. It also recovers both Brave and HP party members. So Paladin Cecil recovers both Brave and HP to party members, which makes him very flexible. He also ensures a very high survivability rate for the entire party, because remember, he's giving you defense up, he's giving you HP regens, and he's also giving you the max HP overflow limit. And then his burst effect further amplifies his role as a versatile support and an aura bot, because you do get the additional effects from his burst effect. And then if you run him with another aura bot, you're going to have some pretty crazy possibilities. Like, for example, run him alongside Balthier, because Balthier pretty much has a permanent aura coming from his LD effect. You run him as alongside Paladin Cecil, that's some crazy amount of damage that you can potentially do with your party. And then he is an amazing choice for numerous party compositions, as he only has 2 framed buffs for himself and then 1 debuff, and he also functions as an elemental enchant in peril if you're looking for that option. Now, there are some cons to this character. So first of all, don't expect huge damage from Paladin Cecil outside of his finished burst. Remember, his role is not damage, but if you're looking for damage, you can look elsewhere. So his damage it's okay. And then there's going to be multiple Lufenia fights after Transcendence 1 that have Holy Absorb, which completely shuts him out for those fights. And I think Square Enix was like, whoa, people are realizing that this guy is crazy. Well, we gotta do something about that. So after Transcendence 1, you are gonna see some multiple Lufenia fights that do have Holy Absorb, which does completely shut him out. And then while he does provide those crazy auras, anytime his HP drops below 100%, you are gonna lose out on that Brave Damage Up and HP Damage Up effects. So you want to be careful where you're gonna be bringing him to fights where HP damage attacks are frequent. Now, my personal take on this character, I am 100% going to be pitying him if I have to. So aside from my FF4 bias, I have recognized Paladin Cecil's superb versatility, and his auras provide a ton of value for harder content to come. I've actually seen him recently take into some recent Lufenia pluses. So this guy can do a lot for your party, and then he's also going to make your life much easier for the upcoming Transcendence Part 1, because Transcendence is considered burst content, and if you are looking to be able to do that Transcendence once it drops on Global, I personally highly recommend you consider investing in Paladin Cecil. I have seen a run where Paladin Cecil was not used. Someone actually used Ramza, but it's very difficult to make that work. So if you want to make your life easier, you don't want to deal with a hellish fight for Transcendence Part 1, highly recommend that you invest your resources into Paladin Cecil. Now, there are going to be 2 banners featured. The first one is going to have all of Paladin Cecil's gear, including his LD and his burst. It's also going to be returning Laguna and Jek's gear. Both characters are a little dated at this point, but if you are missing their gear, it's there for you. You could probably use them for maybe like some of the earlier Lufenias that we have permanently unlocked for Global, but for some of the future content, it's a bit of a stretch. But if you can make them work, you can make them work. And then Banner 2 is going to have Paladin Cecil's burst, and then Camlanot, who's going to be getting his LD boards, is also going to be refeatured on this with his LD, EX, 35, and 15. Now, Camlanot does get some really fantastic upgrades. I'm going to be leaving a link down below to Black Nero's video, because he does go over what Camlanot gets, because I don't go over it in this video. So if you want to learn more about that character, links down below to Black Nero's video. And then afterwards, the other 2 characters featured on this, oh boy, we got Barret, who, Barret, in my opinion, is pretty dated at this point. If you're missing his gear, cool, but wait till he gets his LD. I wouldn't go on this banner chasing for Barret. And then it has Fang, who is undoubtedly probably one of the most underwhelming characters right now on both Global and even on the JP side, because even on JP, she doesn't even have an LD yet. But if you're missing Barret and Fang, they're also on this banner that has Paladin Cecil's burst and the reruns of Camlanot's gear with his LD. So again, I know a lot of you guys are going to be pulling for Paladin Cecil, but remember, I always want to mention to you guys to take a look at the links down below, take a look at the Dissidia DB and all that good stuff, because even if you watch my video or you watch anybody else's video on this character, do your research and understand where this character is going to be providing you value and what your future plans are for this character, and also take a look at your resources and your tickets and your gems and what you already currently have in your roster, and see just what kind of value this character will bring if you do decide to invest in it. Alright guys, well this is going to go ahead and conclude my video for Paladin Cecil's LD and burst. Hopefully it helps you guys prepare for this amazing character that is going to be getting some fantastic upgrades. Thank you again for watching. This is 40 the Broadway Saiyan signing out. Mahal, everyone.